Paul, we'll start with the Mellish thing first. Disappointing.
Um, yeah, massively disappointing. Wow, what can I say about this one? Right. Firstly, I am not sticking up for John Mellish, and I'm not condoning what he did because it was foolish, it was petulant, but it was not violent conduct. That's what I'll say. Now, we didn't appeal just on a whim. You know, I've looked at the video so many times. I've spoken to 7 people, whether they're current or ex Football League officials. All 7 of them said to me, it's a yellow card. It's not excessive force. It's of the same force that Elliot Watt did against Mells. Um, so I'm really disappointed. I'm really surprised that the panel have chosen to uphold the ban. And I've got to say, this is me who has a massive amount of respect for officials. I have a massive amount of respect for our Football Association. But this decision, I've lost complete faith in them. That's all I can say about it. I think it's a really poor decision. And when you look at the current climate with, let's look at Louis Barry's last week. I think that was more aggressive than John Mellish. Let's look at Diogo Jota, who nearly takes Oliver Skipp's eye out in the Liverpool Spurs game. Not considered to be endangering an opponent. Let's look at the assistant referee elbowing Robertson for Liverpool. No action taken. So I've got to say, I don't know how the decisions are made. I also think, looking at it on the day, if the referee hadn't got caught up in the emotion of the game and he'd just delayed his whistle for a couple of seconds, Jack Robinson put the ball in the back of the net. It's a goal, and none of it happens. So I'm really disappointed by it. I'm going off on one here, and I've got to be really careful. But the top and bottom of it is, I've lost faith in our disciplinary system. That's all I can say about it.
And that's because, Paul, this incident aside, we just want consistency, don't we?
Oh, without a doubt, you want consistency. I don't believe that John Mellish was violent in what he did. I don't think it was any more excessive force than he had given against him on an unprovoked attack to his back, an unprovoked push on his back. I don't think there was any more aggression in that. It was stupid, it was petulant, it's a yellow card offence. That's not just me, that is loads of people are telling me that. Unfortunately, we have to take it on the chin. We've got to move on now. We're missing JK, we're missing John Mellish, we're missing Morgan Feeney, Finn Back, Jack Ellis, Jamie Devitt. The list could go on and on. What we do know is we've got a group of players who are really determined to go to Sutton United and make sure we put on a performance that guarantees that we're in the playoffs and guarantees us the opportunity to go further.
John is John. He brings what he brings, whether you use him in back three, back four, back five, central midfield, whatever you do with him, he is John. So it's a hole to be filled.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, any player that's missing is a hole to be filled. You know, I've just gone through a list of injured players. We have to fill the hole, and we've got players who can fill it. So I'm not bleating on about it. It's been a really, really frustrating week that has put me in a position where, after being in professional football since 1982, I've just lost faith in that disciplinary system. That's all I can say about it. Now, John Mellish made a mistake. Yes, we know that. We all know that. He deserved to be yellow carded. He should not have retaliated. I wish he'd have dived to the floor like the player did when he pushed, when he shoved. I wish he'd have done that. He didn't, and we have to deal with it. We've got to take it on the chin. We're missing him for 3 games now, but we're still in a really good position, and we've still got to remember that the players are ready to go. The players are looking forward to the game, and then we have to use this as a starting point to take us into hopefully the next couple after that.
We denied the situation with JK. That was upheld. Again with Mellish, it's upheld. Can that kind of thing upset the dressing room, or can it galvanise the dressing room?
I don't know the answer. I think Suspensions are part and parcel of the game, especially nowadays. They are a really big part of the game, so we have to deal with it. Injuries are part of the game. We'll have to deal with it. We've dealt with it really well over the first 45 games. We've dealt with all the scenarios that have been thrown at us. This is the next one, and it's how we cope with the next one now. That's all we can do, and we've got a good opportunity. We know what we need to do. We're going to Sutton with the same intention that we have for every other game. We're going to win the game. That's how we're going to set about. We're going to win it. And then, like every other game, if we don't win it, we make sure we don't lose it. And if that's what happens, then we know we'll be in the playoffs.
You said it already, what we have got with this group, and they show it consistently, injuries, suspensions, whatever, people step up.
Yeah, there's a resilience about the whole group. I think I'm right in saying, I know recently we were up to 28 players we've used. So everybody's had to play the part, everybody's had to come along and join the party, so we've got an opportunity again, and it'll open the door for somebody else. Some lads who've been on the fringes of it over recent weeks, they'll come back into the mix now for this game at the weekend, on Monday, and it's up to them to go and perform.
And you move quickly to bring Sam back to add options off his loan deal.
Yeah, Fish and Kai Nugent, to be honest with you, they're both now available for us, so whether we use them or not is a different matter, but I want to have the opportunity to have them in with us. They've carried on training, so we'll wait and see, and if they're called upon, then they have to be ready for it.
Those players on the fringes who have been injured, Paul, how close are they to getting 10, 15, 20 minutes in a key game?
Probably the only one who has joined in full training, and we're talking 3 days this week he's joined in with full training, is Brennan Dickinson, but he's been out for 9-10 months, whatever it might be, so it would be a rush decision to have to use him. So I've got to weigh up all of those things. I can't just be selfish just because we're short on numbers. We'll see between now and Monday exactly what we can do and what we can't do. Toby has literally just done his first full session with us today. He's joined in fully, so he's in full contact. Probably still a week or two away from doing any work. Looking at the longer term ones, Jamie Devitt's is a really bad, I think it's a 3C hamstring tear. We're looking at 16 weeks for Dev, so he goes under the knife for surgery on Tuesday down in London. So that's him done for the season. Morgan Feeney, Finn back. If everything goes swimmingly for them in terms of their rehab, and swimmingly for us in terms of our games and results, they would be available if we had a game on May the 28th. Jack Ellis probably won't be available this season. He's probably looking at middle of June. So humming and ahhing over different things, but I've got enough to go to Sutton. I know that for a fact. I've got a good enough group to go to Sutton, and that's the only thing on my mind at the moment. We'll take a group down there, we'll go and prepare properly, we'll hopefully put on the right sort of performance for our travelling supporters again, and then set us up for what will be a fantastic thing after that.
That's horrible news about Dev. How is he?
He's as low as a snake's belly. That's the truth of it. He's had a horrendous time, not just this season, for the last couple of seasons. His body just keeps breaking down on him, and this is the same hamstring that he had surgery on last time. I think it's in a different area, but it's still surgery, and he's obviously really upset because it's horrendous for him and for his family. I know last weekend all his family were upset about it because it puts you in a really difficult position. But we'll look after him. Regardless of that, we'll make sure we give him the right sort of care and attention. He's going to be looked after by a top surgeon, and he'll get the treatment that he needs. And then he has a decision to make as to what he wants to do moving forward.
I was going to say, it's really crass even to mention it, but with the contract situation up, whatever, in the next month, it's almost a side issue, isn't it, to getting the lad well again?
Oh, that doesn't come into it now. It's just, with the way football contracts go, his contract goes till the end of June, and then if he hasn't got a club, it goes to the end of July. So he'll be looked after properly. We'll make sure he's looked after properly. We'll get the surgery, we'll do his rehabilitation with him, and then he's got to decide how he wants to go about it and what we do, and we'll continue to speak to him, we'll continue to see him. He's been in today. This is his first day in since last weekend. He's a little bit better than he was when I spoke to him on Monday or Tuesday, and I think the reality of it has now hit him, and he knows what he's got in store. Luckily, he's a strong character. He's a really good personality. And we know that we've got people here who will look after him, and that's the main thing.
Trained the lads this morning. How have they been this week ahead of I mean, it's not cut and dried. You've said it so many times.
No, it's not cut and dry. No, it's a proper work day, Monday, and every day this week's been a proper work day. With it, because of the sort of length between Salford and this one, there's been an extra day of rest and stuff like that. We had the celebration of the supporters of the club's Player of the Year do on Sunday night, which was fantastically organised and all ran really well. And then it was back to work Monday morning, and we go again. And preparation's gone well for the week for the game on Monday, and we're now looking forward to it. We just want to get playing. We want to go and make sure we perform properly. And if we do perform properly, that's the start of us preparing for playoff games. If we don't, and if results go against us, and there's an 8-goal swing and all that stuff, the truth of it is we don't deserve to be in the playoffs, and that's the only way we can look at it. It's been a good season so far. We have an opportunity to make it a brilliant season, and it has to be full steam ahead.
And the midweek game at Crewe showed you that nothing is set in stone. Anything can happen literally up until the 101st minute or whatever it was.
Wow, it was crazy during the week, really crazy. Bradford have been on a hell of a roll recently, and when they got back to 2-2, I thought, here we go, they're going to still have a chance of automatic. And I'm watching the timings coming through, and I looked at 90 plus 9 thinking, what's gone on here? And then I was watching one of the National League playoff games, and I look again, and then it's 90 plus 11 penalty goal. It's incredible what's going on, and that's what I love about English football. I've already said I don't like the disciplinary stuff in English football, but I love the fact that every single team, regardless of whether you have something to play for or nothing to play for, everybody does it properly. That's the beauty of English football, and that's why I think on Monday at Sutton we know we're in for a tough game. I think Matt Gray has done a brilliant job with Sutton United, getting them into the league, securing safety in the first year. They've been up there nearly for the whole season, up in the top places. Unfortunately, they've just fallen away a little bit for whatever reason, so we know it's going to be tough. They will want to finish it properly in front of their home fans. We want to get a result in game 46 to make sure we carry on.
And I read something from Matt just this morning. He does not want to take 7 defeats in a row into the summer, so he'll have that, and his players will have that to play for.
Oh, I don't think they'll need any encouragement. They have got last game of the season. I don't think they'll have flip-flops and towels ready. I think they'll be wanting to finish on a high. We know we're going to have to be at it, and this is where it's about us. We have to make sure we're right. We're up in these top places because we've done it properly over the season, over the majority of the season. And we know we can't get automatic. We know that's Northampton or Stockport are going to take that. We know that there's 4 others who are trying to get 3 places, and we have to do everything we possibly can to make sure we're taking one of those.
Thinking about the playoffs, do you mind where we are, if we are in those places, whether it's home first, away first, or whatever?
Do you know something, Andy? I'm not even thinking about playoffs. I'm thinking about Sutton, because we have to take care of Sutton. I have a schedule in place that is up to Sutton on Monday. There's nothing else in it for now, and we will do that one properly. And then when I'm on the coach on the way back and I've enjoyed a performance and a result, then I'll get my head around what the schedule will look like for the rest of the week. So we can't think about playoffs yet. Northampton last year were probably thinking about automatic promotion on the last day, and then they got the pants pulled down. So we can't be in that position. We have to just focus on Sutton, make sure we do that properly, and then I'll really enjoy setting a schedule for the next 2 weeks after that.
That Northampton one is a great example, isn't it? We keep looking back to that and what happened last season. We're going to have 1,000 fans there on Monday. Well, more. In fact, that's fantastic again.
Oh, incredible. I think I've heard about this swell of support that's been going over the last few weeks for this Sutton game, and I've heard that there's people coming in fancy dress. We have to make sure it's a proper celebration. We have that in our hands to go and perform, to get a result, that come the end of the game, the fancy dress isn't a damn squib. It's a proper day out for them that's encouraged us to have a good performance.
I was going to ask you some playoff questions, but you know what, you're right. It's not the right time, is it? It's got to be about Monday.
I've told you, the playoffs don't even come into it yet. You have to earn the right to be in the playoffs, and you have to earn it over 46 games. We haven't done that yet. So if we're in them, I will talk to you till I'm blue in the face about the playoffs. We'll talk as much as you like. Today, it's about Sutton United. It's about making sure we go and do it properly against a team who will be like a wounded animal, and we've got to make sure we're up against it right.
Paul, thank you.